Today I'm going to give each of you a really good insight into my less than stellar golf game with the help of this, the brand new ShotScope V3. Now, this new bit of kit from the Scottish-based performance tracking specialist is a big step up from the V2 that came before it, something I was a huge fan of. And in this video I'm going to run you through all the new features and benefits with this GPS watch and performance tracker. ShotScope are leaders when it comes to performance tracking. Really great at letting you know the strengths and weaknesses in your golf game and helping you improve by tackling those weaknesses and also building on your strengths. So I'm going to go out in the golf course, tell you everything that's brand new with this sleek bit of kit, let you know why I'm such a huge fan of it. Then after the round we'll head back into the office and then we'll run through where I went right and where I went wrong today. So let's go out onto the golf course. So what is new with the V3? Well, the first thing you'll probably notice is the size. It is a lot smaller and sleeker than the V2 it's replacing. Now, that was probably one of the only drawbacks of the V2, was the fact that it is a wee bit big and clunky on your wrist. The V3, however, it's small in terms of length, width and height, but despite being smaller, the screen's actually 2mm bigger, so we've got a slightly bigger screen. That screen is also a colour screen this time round, which is easy to read in, overcast conditions like this, indoors, and also when it's bright and sunny outside because it's backlit. So nice colour screen there. We've got a longer battery life. When you're on GPS and track mode, it will last about 10 hours, whereas the V2 would only last about 6, so you can get 2 full rounds in with a full charge of the V3. Another good point there. In terms of improvements, they now say that this device is accurate. The GPS technology within this device, the new technology they've placed in it, is accurate to within 30 centimetres. Now that's pretty remarkable. That will help you so much when you're facing your approach shot into the green or trying to determine how far it is to carry that hazard. But more importantly, it'll just mean that your game tracking, your stats are going to be more spot on than ever before. 30 centimetres is, it's really not a lot. I think a lot of other GPS watches you can find, they'll be to about a metre or a couple of metres accuracy, so 30 centimetres, it is pinpoint accurate. Like the V2, we have dynamic yardages to the front, middle and back, so they'll be spot on, and they also take into account what angle you are from the green, so it'll be the front as you face it and the back as you face it. So if you're miles off to the left, you'll know how far it is to the front that way. If you're miles off to the right, how far it is to the front of the green from that direction. So really good handy feature there. You can also scroll through the hazards on the hole. It gives you the front and back distances for the hazards, so you know exactly how far you've got to carry the bunkers or a burn or whatever there might be out there. Other wee handy features, the pin collect system's been slightly refined. I think it's a wee bit better this time round, a little bit easier to use. Certainly it reminds you a wee bit more forcefully, because certainly I think the first time people use a ShotScope, they might forget to use the pin collect system. Setting up the device, piece of cake. Just connect it to the smartphone app, install the tags into the butt end of your grip, 5-10 minutes tops maybe, and away you go. It is an absolute piece of cake, and that's one of the great things about ShotScope, is that you just play around the golf. You've got those GPS yardages on your wrist, fantastic, but you're just playing golf. You're not having to do any other little bits and bobs to get your stats. The only thing you do is pin collect, and you're literally tapping a button as you pick the ball out of the hole. So in terms of the improvements over the V2, aesthetically it's a big step up, more accurate, some more handy wee features in the device. You also have 5 colour options to choose from, so there's that option there if you fancy a wee bit of colour in your life. But really it's a device that shows great improvements over the V2, which was great. It's refined some of the things that were maybe wee drawbacks of that device and just made them better. I'll continue playing around here and then we'll go in and see how I got on, but at the moment it's not looking too great for me. I think I'd probably struggling to get buffer just now, so hopefully get some birdies in the closing holes and then we can run through my round. So let's take a look at the stats from my round. Ended up shooting 6 over. I play a 5 at the moment, so 6 over. Not great, not terrible. You know, a couple of lost balls certainly didn't help my cause, but I've synced the watch to the smartphone app, and I now have all of my data here as well. So we can just go through how I got in the round. So you can see in the round I only hit 31% of fairways in regulation, 44% of greens in reg, and got up and down 55% at the time. You know, I'm just not hitting the ball. I wasn't hitting the ball well enough off the tee today. That was really where I was going wrong. A couple of lost balls. That's where I've really, you know, lost quite a few shots. Greens in reg, usually I would expect it to be a wee bit higher than that. You know, ball striking wasn't quite on, but my short game was actually a wee bit better than normal. That's somewhere where I usually struggle. So if we go to performance, the over 100 tour level statistics that you can go through, you can look through your club data, you can go with the performance average, so that gives you a good idea of how far you're hitting each club. You can then have a look through your tee shots, see your fairway accuracy stats. So this season, a couple of rounds played, I'm missing a wee bit out to the right more often than the left. I'm hitting quite a few fairways, you know, feel like my game's not too bad at the moment, but you can see there sort of these stats, that's telling me where I'm going right, where I'm going wrong, what scores I'm then making from different positions once I'm missing left or missing right. Then on to the approach shots. You know, this is absolutely fantastic. You can click on and you see all the different holes, how close you were with your approach shots. If you click the breakdown, you can see kind of where I'm generally missing, you know, I'm hitting the green and where I'm missing. So short left seems to be something that I'm doing at the moment. You know, you go further down, you can see average green success, average shots to the finish. So absolutely a wealth of data for you to sift through. We've then got the same story with short game. You know, something I'm really not, it's where I struggle most is with my short game, and especially with my putting. And then once we go on to the putting, you know, you can see that in the couple of rounds I've played, it's not been too bad. You know, I've not had any 3-putts yet, which is pretty good, but I've made next to nothing, and that's where I'm losing a lot of my scores. And as I go on playing more rounds with the V3, the amount of data that I will see will just grow and grow, and it will give me an even greater insight into my golf game, where I'm going right, where I'm going wrong. And yeah, you know, it's just a fantastic bit of kit. That it's a GPS device that's really accurate, 30 centimetres. That's the accuracy level of the GPS device, and that then translates into this data that you have here, and it lets you know more about your golf game, and hopefully you can improve. So I have to say, big fan of the V3. I think some really good improvements over the V2 here, especially in terms of the styling, the sizing, the fact you've got colour options, the wee added features and benefits that it delivers. And yeah, you know, I think if you're serious about trying to improve your game, trying to know more about where you're going right and where you're going wrong, then the V3 would be a really good investment. It's also worth pointing out though that there's also going to be a G3 option for those of you who maybe aren't interested in shot tracking or performance tracking. Then there's a G3 which is just a GPS device that's going to be incredibly accurate, so you might also want to check that out. So hopefully that's everything you need to know about the V3. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching.